I am currently the program leader for the Masters in Multimedia and Entertainment Technology program. Next year, actually next semester, Anthony, who's in this, will also be. I'm on my way out. I'm retiring in 2 years, I was the founding program leader for this master's program. We've been running for about 20 years, and we've been keeping in abreast with the technology for this program. It's one of the longest running programs in this area. I'm just going to share my screen. We're going to get started here. I'm just going to share my screen. We have all of the, before I start though, we have all of our key stream leaders in this room right now. William Liang, if you can introduce yourself real quick, or just say hi. So William runs the Social Mobile Interactive stream. David Williams runs the Media Psychology stream, and Jackie Cho runs the game stream as well. And so I'll go into a little bit, and then we have Anthony, who will be the next program leader next semester. And he will be kind of driving this program. I will still be here for the next 2 years or so. Here in Hong Kong, we have a mandatory retirement age of 60, and I'm approaching that age. But when you come, I will still be here. So let me run through these slides real quick. And so you're here for, can everyone, oh, no one can see this yet. Let me do share, screen share, share, and then run. Can everyone see this? Yes. Okay, great. So I'm here to introduce you to, you're here because you have an interest in our Masters in Multimedia and Entertainment Technology program. It's a program, as I mentioned, that's been running for about 20 years now in the School of Design here at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. And just to introduce you a little bit, multimedia and entertainment is technology, is a marriage between kind of technology and the arts. And so in our program, we have people from kind of the technology side and the arts side. I've actually been in this area for about 30 years. Before teaching in Hong Kong here at the Hong Kong Polytechnic, I was at the HKUST, and I used to teach at USC as well too. And at USC, I helped to set up the Integrated Media Systems Center. We got about $90 million to do work in kind of multimedia, integrated media. That's what we called it at the time. And a lot of the challenges that come from this is that you have people kind of in the engineering schools, which have a certain way of looking at things in a mindset. You have people kind of in the arts and design schools, which have a very different way of looking at things. And in all these different disciplines, you have a lot of these culture clashes. And so our program, 20 years ago was one of the first that actually tried to work towards combining the kind of the technical background, the engineering background, and the arts backgrounds as well too, in design areas, in cinema and everything, and really focus on coming up with a common culture. And really bringing these different cultures together. And so we have it's a marriage of arts and technologies. It's at the forefront of research and development as well too. And so if you look at digital technology, many of you may be familiar with Moore's Law, computer performance doubling every 18 months. And that's been happening. I just got this, I'm pretty excited. I got this new MacBook Pro 16-inch, with the latest processor and everything. And so these things double in every 18 months. And if you look, and the premise for multimedia and entertainment technologies is that technology today arguably is driven by entertainment applications. And so why did I upgrade my computer? Why do you upgrade to the new phones that come out? It's largely for entertainment applications. It's not so much for email or spreadsheets or scientific processing. A large thing that drives the adoption of digital technologies is entertainment applications. And that's why this multimedia and entertainment technology is very focused. Now, if you look at COVID and the COVID reality that we're facing today, everyone's going online. And right now, a lot of businesses are reinventing themselves, and opportunities abound in this space. So a lot of you are familiar with like if you look at the developments over the last couple of years of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, NFTs are hot right now. And lately there's a lot of discussion on the metaverse. And so kind of COVID has accelerated people's adoption to these online environments. And, with these lockdowns, people are doing things online and trying to figure out, how do I bring my business online and how do I support my organization from an online world as well too. And lastly, the huge opportunity, especially in the entertainment area, is that these technologies have the ability, the potential to change the world by changing how people perceive the world. Around 2000, I had a personal conversation with Bill Gates. He had given a talk, and he talked about how from the 60s to 2000 or so, we've been training computers and we've been teaching computers and developing all these amazing applications using digital technology. But now with entertainment applications, with real-time media, with video games, it seems like technology is kind of training us. And so especially when we're talking about multimedia and entertainment applications that kind of engage people, we really have the huge opportunities for changing how people perceive the world and really working towards affecting social change as well too. And so if you look at the recent concerns, and there are concerns around this, around Facebook and social media and how things are getting siloed and how these social media platforms are changing governments. Like if you look at what's happening politically, and an American company like Facebook is influencing the politics of countries like Cambodia, these technologies have a huge application opportunities in affecting change and how people see the world. And so and so for us, the area is very broad, and what we focused in is we focused in 3 streams, and there are 3 focus areas for our program. One is video games that Jackie's involved with, heads up. He's also an alumni of our program. The other is in social mobile interactive, and William heads up that stream. And then the third is in applied design psychology, which David heads up. And for us, part of this is, and the reason why we focus on applied design psychology is, if you look at when we started, just think about it for a second. In the year 2000, when we started this program, video games and social media, Facebook didn't exist. It was a very different reality for the technology platforms, and video games were also very different as well too, till today. And so a lot of things change with the technologies, but some things remain the same. And so for us, in terms of the theoretical foundations by which we build things, psychology and how the mind and the body work and how symbols influence the mind hasn't really changed. And so for us, one of the unique parts of our program is this focus on psychology and applied design psychology, because it's really looking at how media and technology influence the mind and the psyche. And so for us, in terms of this program, it's very quick. It's a 1-year intensive program. It's a 1-year full-time intensive program. And it's basically structured around 3 semesters. The first semester, which is around possibilities, trends, and looking at the opportunities at that time. The second semester, which is focused on advanced skills, the definition of your projects and refinement of that. And then the third semester is project implementation. And so the main part of this program is preparing you, and it's very applied, where you and an interdisciplinary group, usually you have technology people, media people, and people with kind of business backgrounds as well too, coming up with an idea of a project and then working as a team towards implementing it. And so again, this is our structure, the structure of the program in visual form. The blue boxes are compulsory subjects. And so there are a couple compulsory subjects that you take on globalization and new media design and technology. Actually, that's kind of in the second semester right now. And multimedia project management. We have to update this slide. There's production processes in multimedia and entertainment that give you kind of a background in how projects are produced. There's a class called Recovering Creativity, which is focused on helping you kind of unlearn the things that you've been taught, understanding kind of this mind-body relationship, and then helping you figure out what you would really like to do. Innovative multimedia project development brings, we have a global network of people that are working in this space that do presentations and give talks, and it provides an opportunity for students to meet people that are in the industry. Some of the people that we had last year, we had Paul Megan, who was the president of Epic. He was behind Fortnite and the Unreal Engine. And we have lately, we also had this last semester, we had Steven Zhao, who does Sandbox VR. They just raised about $37 million to do kind of immersive VR location-based entertainment. And so that's what we have for IMPD. Multimedia project management is as you develop your projects, putting a cohesive plan together towards execution. And then the third semester is the master's project. There are 2 electives that you can take, which can include the stream electives, and then each person also gets a selected stream that they choose. And so again, it's games, social mobile interactive, or design psychology. And so your interview process and the acceptance will be through these streams as well too. And usually we take about 20 students in each stream. We have about 60 students per year, per cohort in this, but it is a full-time 1-year intensive program. And at the conclusion of it, as per Hong Kong policy, you also get a 1-year work visa. For those of you that are in India or mainland China or anywhere else around the world, you have the opportunity to get a job as well. And in part of IMPD, you'll meet a lot of people kind of in the industry, the local industry here. And so among the electives that we have are story development, sound design. We have a wide variety of electives in this space, and we specialize them as well too, really catered towards the different streams that we have. There's also opportunity for independent study. And so if there's something you really want to learn that there's no elective for, you can actually propose to learn it independently. We have all of our faculty here. They all have, most of them have PhDs, and they also have industry experience as well too. And so independent study, you can also take course subjects, electives from the computer science department and also from the MDes. It's pretty exciting. The MDes, before it was a little difficult interfacing with the MDes because their program structure was different, but they've just revamped their program, which will also be launching next year, which will be more aligned with our program of 1 week per class program. And so there will be electives from there as well. For us, we try to get, for the projects that you do, they're industry relevant projects. There are a lot of local market opportunities for international companies that are soft landing here into Hong Kong, although that's changing a little bit with COVID. There are a lot of commercially relevant opportunities. We have very good interfaces with the local industry. We have about 800 alumni right now that have gone through our program, and we have a great alumni network. We've also been fairly successful at research grant writing. I don't know if you know, but the Hong Kong government spends about $6 billion a year to support research. And there's funds like the SME Fund, the Innovation Technology Fund. I personally have gotten about $25 million from the government doing research. And also there are a lot of startup opportunities, and the government here is fairly supportive with incubation programs, and we have very good connections with a lot of them. We have a number of staff, several of them that are here right now. Most of them have, we try to find people that have academic background and also have commercial experience as well too. And so we have many people in the program that you'll get to meet. And the thing our program is targeted towards, and if you're interested in this program, what we try to prepare our students for, and the whole philosophy behind it, is really to cultivate entrepreneurs, people that want to do a startup, because there are so many new opportunities in this space and it's easy to jump in very quickly. Part of this was when I was teaching at the motivation for this is when I was teaching at USC, I actually had students that had a choice between finishing their degree and doing a startup. And, you know, when you have like millions of dollars being thrown at you, you know, a choice of millions of dollars or finishing your degree, a lot of them chose the millions of dollars. And part of the philosophy behind this program too is because it is very cutting edge and we're really looking to help you figure out what you'd like to do and to create the new possibilities is, and the way this program is structured is, you know, can you get a master's degree, but then also, you know, work on and use this time to work on the thing that you would really like to create. And so there's a focus to supporting kind of people that want to be entrepreneurs. The second level is to be a producer. And so this is someone that can ideate, come up with an idea for a new potential project, and then come up with the way that it would be implemented and the budget that's needed and have the skills to manage that to become a producer. And the third part is the researcher. And as I mentioned, we write a lot of research grants. And if you want to then pursue further towards a PhD or do more research-oriented work where you're focused on a specific thing, that's possible as well too. And those for people that are coming in, we try to get them to think about, for the year that we have together, what's your exit? Where do you want to be after this program? And our job together for the year is to work together for you to get to where you want to be. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. I will stop screen share. And it looks like we might have some questions. So a couple hellos. We haven't sent the offers yet. Apologies, I overran a bit. And then there's a question in Chinese. Doris or Anthony or Jackie. Oh, shoot. No, let me, it was directed specifically.
I don't see any Chinese questions. Are they directly
to you?
to you?
I'll type it in here.
Oh, 老师你好。
老师你好，已经开始。我们都可以看得懂，除了听到看不懂。
Yeah.
Have you started giving offers already?
Not yet. Not yet, but we started interviewing. The interviews have started.
Yeah, okay. Actually, we started interview this week.
Yeah. Next up, David, I'll pass the baton to you.
Hey, thanks, Gino. Hi, everybody. I can see around 30 people online, so that's really good. Thanks for joining us today. So I'm David Williams, and I'm leading the Applied Design Psychology stream. The stream actually is kind of a basis, as Gino said, for a lot of the other work we're doing in the program. We're very interested that students going through the program have a very good understanding of who is their audience, who is their customer, but also who are they in terms of their own professional and personal growth during their year with us and into their career. So my background is in cognitive psychology. I studied in the UK and I came out to Shanghai in 2005, already some years ago. And I actually set up a design agency in Shanghai, which I was running for 6 years. And that turned into another agency, which I'm running now, which has offices around the region, including where I am now, which is in Taiwan. I'm actually today visiting with a famous sculptor here in Taiwan. And we're discussing how he can add interactive media to his sculptures. So yeah, there's always an opportunity for these kinds of crossover collaborations that Gino mentioned. So just quickly about the Applied Design Psychology stream, we've split into two parts in the first and the second semester. And I teach the program with Professor Johan Horn, who's not with us today, but we split the teaching between the two of us, including the classroom teaching, which I take care of, and then the project work, which we do together. The first semester is really a grounding in design psychology, particularly related to technology and media. And we have some particular focuses on neurology and the brain, understanding the anatomy and the functions of the brain, and also looking at new technologies that are emerging to study the brain, even to the level of neural activity in the brain when people are playing games or experiencing retail spaces or advertising. We're very interested in understanding what's happening in the consumer's brain at that time. So the first semester is really giving students a grounding in a whole variety of applied psychology areas. And in the second semester, we zoom in on a particular area, which is creativity. So we particularly study how creativity develops from being a young child through into adulthood, and how we can really develop our own creativity through new media, through digital media and interactive media as we go through our career. Now, both semesters have a project, a group project, which students carry out together. And the basis of those projects can be things which are particularly interesting to the students. We give some guidelines in terms of what the project themes are. Now, I mentioned that this stream is a basis for the whole program. So we do expect students who are coming out of this stream to be really providing applied psychology expertise into other streams, into the master's project that Gino mentioned, which runs through the whole year. So particularly they might bring expertise in making research planning, doing psychological research, statistics and experimental design. They could also be looking at machine learning techniques for analyzing data. And finally, they could be interested in professional and personal development and how teams work together. So these can all be, let's say, extra powers that students can develop through the year, and they can apply into other electives and other projects in the program. I mentioned also that I run a company. We're headquartered in Hong Kong. We're particularly focused on software and IT product development, new media, and marketing. So we have actually taken several students from the program as employees when they've graduated, and also offered internships. So that's also an opportunity to collaborate further after you graduate. I also try to, when people are available, bring in companies to speak to students in the psychology stream. To close, I also teach the marketing management stream as well, which is an elective in the second semester. And you might see me also pop up giving special talks about entrepreneurship, or about presentation skills, or about other areas which are particularly relevant to the company I run. So thanks very much for your attention. I really hope we can see you in the application process soon. As I mentioned, we've already started the interview process. This week, we had our first batch of interviews on Friday or Thursday. And yeah, looking good. So hope to see you all soon. Any questions? Doris, can you share any questions we have?
A lot of them are centered around the application process.
Okay.
And so I think usually we go 4 or 5 rounds. This year we're completely full up with 60 students. And I think, Doris, we have about, is it like, how many applicants do we have already? We have like, it's like 100 and, was it 200 or? Doris?
We now have 250 applications.
Yeah.
We already processed 150 applications.
Yeah, and so this is for the 60 slots.
Yes.
Right here. And just to let you guys know, we try to do things face-to-face here, although this first 2 weeks, because of the Omicron, we're actually in hybrid mode. But for us, because we're fairly intensive, we try to do things face-to-face here. And at our university, they made the requirement that all the faculty and students have to either have the vaccination or have weekly test results. And then next up, William, you want to go next?
Sure. Can you see my share screen? Hello?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
Okay, good. So a little introduction about myself. I was born in Hong Kong. I grew up in Hong Kong and Japan, but I spent most of my adult life in the States, in USA. And as you can see, I studied in the East Coast. And my first job out of college was a startup back then called Bloomberg. And since then, I've been working at various startups in Silicon Valley also. I've started a few startups myself. And so to classify myself, I would think of myself primarily as an educator, and but also entrepreneur, maker. So I'm very involved in the making sort of community and the making culture. I started Hong Kong's first maker space or hacker space more than 10 years ago, called Dim Sum Labs. And I still teach young children how to make things such as robots and so on. I think I did that 2 weeks ago back at another university. I mentor a lot of startups, and I also invest in some of them. So I'm the program stream leader of social mobile internet, and the goal of this stream the goal of the stream is to equip the students with the latest technology, information, and knowledge, so that they can excel in this fast-moving area, and to become a world leader in this area. As Dr. Yu, Dr. Gino mentioned earlier, the outcome that we expect, there are the three outcomes that we expect of the students in this program are entrepreneur, producer, and researcher. And how do we go about doing it? We basically we make the students very tuned in to the latest trends in technology, as well as understand the capabilities and the limitation of latest technology. We give them a taste of a little bit of everything, so that we're not going to make them. So we don't make the students an expert in any specific area, but we want the students to know, for example, like the latest things we talk about. For example, blockchain. Blockchain is very important technology that developed over the less than 10 years ago, and we want the students to understand its capabilities, the limitations of it, and so that they can meaningfully apply the technology in their future endeavors. We also do do the same for some technologies such as machine learning, for example. And it's very important because a lot of our students, we notice that a lot of our alumni end up working in product management, for example. Product management in technology companies, big internet companies in mainland China or around in Asia. And as a product manager, we know that it's very important for one to be able to come up with products or features that utilize the latest technology, but meaningfully, right? But having to knowing the latest technology, the limitations also of technology. Otherwise, the product manager may come up with something that is not achievable, for example. So we spend a lot of time making sure the students study and understand the latest trends, and understand the the workings of the latest technologies. We also work closely with relevant industry experts. I also invite speakers to come in class if COVID allows, and rest be assured that the course content is constantly revised. In fact, the joke I have with my personal friends is that if I were teaching history, I won't be updating the lecture contents every year, which I do for this class. And one thing, another thing we do is that I'm very in tune with. I work closely with entrepreneurial sort of efforts and events and contests and all these hackathons in the city. I encourage the students to participate in a lot of these entrepreneurial events, and we've had many successes over the years. So about the one-year master's project. So this is a one-year program, and all students are required to complete a one-year master's project. So basically, from day one, when you start the program, you will start working on your master's project. And one thing that what we require in our stream that we find it quite unique is that we encourage and we demand actually our students to find real customers and users for your master's project. Instead of handing in some sort of a homework at the end of the year, we actually we force you to look for real users and customers, because by doing so, we force you to look, understand, and study the market, and make something that is relevant to the world. And I think that is important. As an undergraduate, I think it's okay to work on a project and to produce something. But in our program, I think we want to take that one step further and say, and make you think one step further and bring that project, whatever that project may be, if it's some sort of a mobile application, or if it's a web application, WeChat mini app, or it could be even or a game, for example. We want you to think about the value that is created by such a project, and the people who value the value that is created by the project, and the people you benefit, right? And that extra step, I think, is that makes a very big difference from our program to other programs or undergraduate program as well. So, as a result, we do, like I said earlier, that a lot of our students do participate in contests, startup contests, and win seed fundings, fundings from different government or different entities that give out money for to start your project. Our hope is that some of the student projects, some of the students will decide to carry on their project after school and turn it into an enterprise of their own. And over the years, we do have a few that have tried, and a select few have succeeded or are still succeeding in it. And even if you feel that entrepreneurship is not for you, we believe that this training is actually very important, because after all, every person in this world is here to create value, right? So we really try to make you understand and remind you constantly that value creation is is important and is happens everywhere, and is what makes the world go around, really. Our student graduates end up in a lot of different companies. Some of these are the as you see in the slide. This is not an updated slide, but these are some of the companies that our graduates do end up going to work for. So this mantra is not from me. It's from a famous Silicon Valley accelerator called Y Combinator. Somebody there called Paul Graham, who's a very successful entrepreneur, turned into an investor. But it's also something that I believe in a lot, and it's something that I constantly remind our students to do, which is to make something people want. And that's pretty much the focus of our stream here. So,
all right, thanks, William.
You're welcome. If there are no other further questions, I'll pass this on to Jackie.
Yeah.
Thanks, William.
Thanks.
Welcome, everyone. I see some familiar names. Great to see you here. Like that, there are some people we interviewed recently. I hear.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen first.
William, you might want to pop out a share screen.
Yeah. Sorry. Here.
Thanks. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm Jackie. Hello. I am one of the instructor of the game design and game development class, and I also supervise most of the game projects in this program. But before talking about the class, let me introduce myself first. First of all, I'm a gamer. I'm a really hardcore gamer. An example is that I have over 1,000 games on Steam. I really spend most of the time of my life on activities related to games, whether it's teaching the game classes here, whether it's running my studio making games or playing games on my spare time. And even I make games for my family for our anniversary and birthday. So I'm a super gamer. You can say that. But on the other side, I'm also I would say I am a gaming experience creator. So I graduated from this program about 7 years ago, and during those years, of course, because of the support I got from this program, I'm able to achieve quite a few things, I would say. So I have worked in a game development team size of around 50 people. I would say it's a small to medium-sized team on mobile games. I also have a very, very indie game experience of making a game all by myself. So just me making a game, and that game is getting featured on a lot of different platforms. For example, the App Store feature story you're seeing here, and it has been played by millions of players around the world. And currently, besides teaching, doing teaching here, I'm also running a small studio. We currently have around 7 people based in Hong Kong and also in Macau, actually. And we self-designed, self-developed, and self-published those games. So kind of just make games we like and also making money on the way. That's kind of the style we have here in my studio. And I think one of the biggest achievement is if you're in mainland China, you probably know this. My biggest achievement should I think consider would be winning the Indie Play Award. I won the best mobile game of the year in 2018. Yeah, so that's about me. So let's talk about what the game stream offer to you here. I would say overall there are two big takeaways from the game stream. The first takeaway is we will show you a lot of different things and cover a lot of different topics to try to have you to take a step back to think about what new opportunities are out there to develop your career related to video games. So for an example, maybe before you join this program, you may have, I think that one of the most common plan that you have is that, okay, I'm just going to get a degree and I'm going to work in one of the biggest company to have a pretty stable and good job. Okay, so one of the takeaways here, when we go through the whole year of 3 different semester, we'll try to talk to you something like that. Wait. There are this opportunity out there and this and that. And have you ever think about you can make games and apply them in a way that you never think of? Or have you experienced a very, very new game or a new way to design game that you never think of? Or you may be meeting other students in this program and they may inspire you to think about new opportunities, or maybe that may be a completely new career plan in a better way. So that's one of the takeaways here. The second takeaways I would say is we really have a really diverse network of resources here, especially our alumni. Okay, we have alumni like me starting their own studio. Some of them are in Hong Kong, some of them are in mainland or other places. Also, of course, we have alumni who is currently working at internet giants company or game giants like Tencent Games, NetEase Game, Lily's Game 莉莉丝游戏 XD Network 心动网络 Coconut Island 椰岛游戏 all different kind of company. We have people working there and they work in really pretty diverse position, I would say. Pretty much everything. We have people, some of my classmates working as a game design lead with a team with over 10 different game designers, leading a team of 10 game designers, just designers. So you can imagine how big the team is. Also, we have alumni working as the publishing head of some really big name company. We also have alumni working as more technical side of stuff, of course. Yeah, so it's really up to you to who you want to connect with and what kind of resource you want to get. So let's talk a bit about the class. So there are 2 classes that I am teaching, and also the class is taught by me and also another instructor, Reese. I think he's not here, but I will be covering topics more on the industry, or you would say practical side of stuff. Reese is covering topics on the more research and academic side of stuff. So there are two main parts which are split into two classes over two different semesters. So in the game design class, we first will cover things that no matter what you're going to do with games, the things that you probably should know, which is we understand what game actually is, what fun is, and we try to introduce you to different frameworks that helps you to deconstruct and analyze the games into the most fundamental components, so that can help you to communicate with different game designers and apply them to create your own craft of games. And also we'll be exploring the possibilities in applying a game in different fields. We go through serious game. We also go through game study or game research. We explore the relationship between the game creator and the players, also things like that. So basically just try to introduce you to a lot of different angles of looking at games. And then in the second semesters, in the game development class, we will be treating you as a game producer. So that the game development class will be much more practical, I would say. We go through the whole game development process from pre-production, doing market research, and setting up the production pipeline to the production phase. We talk about product management specialized for games. Also, how to acquire users and doing iterative tests along the development using data analysis tools, stuff like that. Also, we also cover topics on marketing and going to game exhibitions. So it's kind of like a whole package for to help you to prepare to become a game producer. But there's one thing that I want to clarify is that so there are things we don't cover in the class, is that we are not going to teach you to do coding, programming, or using a specific game engine in these two classes. Because this is a one-year master program, it's pretty intense already for this kind of information. And the other side is, to be honest, nowadays the internet is very abundant with different resources. For those technical skills, we really suppose you to be self-learning those kind of technical stuff. But there's one thing I want to talk about is we would be very, very happy to help you on that by organizing workshops. So for instance, for example, if there is a enough amount of students that are interested in a specific technical topic, for example, Unreal Engine or Unity Engine, we will try to organize workshops, individual workshops. We will invite guests to come to conduct those workshops. For example, one example is just last summer, we conduct 4 different Unreal Engine workshops, which is conducted by a triple A game developer. I would say more experienced than me in terms of game development in Unreal Engine. So we will do that kind of stuff to help you. But overall, we expect you to pick up those kind of technical skills. For you to take the most out of this program is really about looking at the game industry in different angles, also connect to the people you need to connect. So be proactive, I would say. Yeah. So one last thing is if you're going to this is one of the most common question I get from an interview, so I'm gonna say it here. So hey Jackie, how can I best prepare for this program? So there's a very simple thing that you can prepare is to play lots of different games starting today. Okay. So because game is really wild nowadays, as Gino said, it's like every year the game industry changes really quickly. And I think how we look at games is more and more different from nowadays. So I would say one biggest suggestion for me is try to play as many different kind of games as you can starting from now. An example is, hey, Jackie, I don't like NFT games. I am a very, very hardcore gamer. I think NFT games is just a new way to do business. It's just a new business model. It's not really a new game. I would say try to play some of the most popular NFT games first and think about the experience. And other way to think is, hey Jackie, I don't play. I only play AAA games, console games, because they are big, beautiful, very very high graphic fidelity. I don't care any other games. I would say, hey, why don't you take some time to play some indie games? Those are games that are developed by very, very small teams, and they are willing to take a big risk to create very, very innovative way to play your game. And maybe the last angle, I think one of the most common thing is, hey, Jackie, I only play games with my friends on the mobile phone because I only play games because my friends plays them. That's one way to maintain our friendship. I don't want to play other games, spend more time. I would say, hey, why don't you spend some time playing some single player games? There are a lot of things to learn from, besides those the social games. Yeah. So I think that is all the things I want to say. You can just feel free to email me if you have any question. Yeah, so I will give.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I would like to say something because of you. I'm another real living examples of this MSc program because back to 2005, I was a student in this program as well. It seems a long time ago, 15 years ago. Okay, quite large number, 15 year, 15 year. Yeah, and I follow Dr. Gino Yu's footprint because his philosophies. The first one, the producer. I was a video interactive entertainment producer in Hong Kong Jockey Club before, and then I moved to entrepreneur. I start my own company in youth center in Hong Kong and develop a company for the film and interactive entertainment production. My work actually has been exhibited in Shanghai Expo and in 2010. Yeah, it's a quite a big event in Shanghai. And then I'm now a full-time assistant professor in Hong Kong Polytechnic University. I am now a researcher from producer, entrepreneur, and researcher. Yeah, I actually a living example in this philosophies of our Master of Science Multimedia technologies and entertainment technologies program. So I'm now really encourage you to apply if you really want to get a taste from these different three aspects. I'm so happy can be the successors of Dr. Gino Yu because I was his students as well. So you can see the successful case now. Yeah, it is pretty impressive and encouraging to this MSc program. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm not prepared things to share with you guys, but I'm really happy this program can be continued to success. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Gino.
Thanks,
yeah.
Anthony.